So do you get it? Can you feel this assembling of cooperative components? Can you feel the doneness of what you've asked for? Do you know your veritable fortune, the bodily conditions that you seek, your lovers, all things that you're asking for have already been gathered and are lined up, waiting for you to enter the vortex where you have visual awareness, sensual awareness of them. You can't set your radio dial on 6:30 a.m. and hear what's being broadcast on 98.7 FM. You got to be in the vortex in order to see the combining and cooperative components. Do you understand? So if you are in despair or fear, even though what you want has gathered, you're so far from it you can't see it. That's why you don't believe it. You don't see any evidence of it. If you're angry, you're still not seeing it. Probably wanting it more, but still not seeing it. When you're in frustration or overwhelmment, you're not in the vortex. You're not allowing yourself full vision or manifestation. You're not allowing it to unfold into your experience. When you get into hope, now you're in the vicinity. When you are feeling hopeful about something, even though you haven't seen it, that means you've released enough resistance. And in the releasing of resistance, you are cooperating enough vibrationally that the vortex can bring you in. You see how it works? The vortex is bringing in all cooperative components. But if you're over there beating the drum of a different vibration, then you're not a cooperative component, and you can't be someone who comes into vibrational alignment with your own creation. You're a holdout of your own creation. And what's so interesting about that is that if life hadn't caused you to create it, you wouldn't even notice through negative emotion that you're not there. In other words, if you hadn't expanded, not going wouldn't feel uncomfortable. So when you feel negative emotion, it always means two things. First, you've created one whopping swirling vortex, and you're not going. Oh, you're going. You're just going to wait till you croak, maybe, to go. We don't think you should have to croak to get in the vortex. We think that you should be able to release enough resistance by focusing upon enough good feeling things, by giving yourself and others the benefit of the doubt, by giving yourself a break, by looking for reasons to praise and reasons to appreciate rather than reasons to criticize and reasons to poke and probe. When you release or relax your resistance, the vortex will bring you in, and then your heart will soar, your mind will clear, your path of creation will unfold, and then you will be living the life you intended when you came forth into this physical body. That's what you came for. We know what's in your vortex. In other words, you may be standing outside of it, and you may be wanting to justify why things are not going well. But our dominant intent with every word that we speak with you is to entice you, to call you in the direction of who you really are. You are the creator of your own reality. And by that we mean you're not just the creator of your cars and your homes. You're not just the creator of your families and relationships. You're not just the creator of your empires. You are the creator of your experience within all of that. You are the creator of you. You are the creator of the experience of you. And your life has caused you to create a magnificent vortex of creation. There is a vibrational reality that is vivid and real. It is as vivid and real as the vibrational reality that formed before this earth came into manifestation in the way that you know it. It is the precursor to all that you know to be. And in the moment you release your resistance by focusing upon the pureness of what you're asking for, you will move into the vortex. And when you move into this vibrational reality, now you are privy to the impulses, the inclinations, the decisions. It's like seeing the light. Your trail, your path lights up in a way that you cannot miss it. You can feel the compulsion of being drawn into this magnificent vortex of creation. We want you to feel the bigness of who you are, the wholeness of who you are. And we want you to realize that every negative emotion, no matter how justified it may seem to you, is that emptied out feeling of you holding yourself outside of what you want as you justify why you've asked for what you want. So here's another very powerful way of saying it. If your life had not caused you to become more, you wouldn't feel uncomfortable in not letting yourself become it. But the fact that you are feeling uncomfortable ever about anything means life did cause you to expand. And the fact that you didn't go is really what the negative emotion is. We want you to understand that you have the ability to focus yourself into alignment with who you are, regardless of what is going on in your experience. And when you discover that, then you will be the frisky, creative, joyful being that you came forth into this physical experience to be. You did not say, not one of you ever, I'll go forth and I'll find a bunch of others and I will convince them, train them, coerce them, demand from them, elicit from them behavior that will keep me feeling good. Not one of you said that. Instead, you said, I'll go forth and through the expanse of humanity, I will accomplish enormous expansion. And I'll pay attention to the way I feel to make certain that I keep my thoughts up to speed with my own personal expansion. And they'll all be doing the same. In other words, you did not come forth to try to control the uncontrollable. You came forth to guide your own vibration into the furthest most alignment of your furthest most expansion. That's the only place you will ever find freedom. If you think you've got to control one other before you'll feel good, you're in big trouble, because they didn't come to serve you, not even regarding your purse. What do you want to talk about? We're going to have a wonderful unfolding. Just relax and trust that whatever you've come to know, we'll talk about fully here. It is our promise to you that we will answer everything that you're holding in your vibration fully. And depending upon your proximity to the vortex, you will hear. Do you know where the edge of this vortex is on the emotional scale? The edge of this vortex is between hope and belief. If you're doubting, you are not in the vicinity, and the vortex won't take you in. If you're hating, you're not in the vicinity, and the vortex won't take you in. If you're frustrated and overwhelmed, you're still not that close, and the vortex won't take you in. You get hopeful, every now and again, the vortex will take you in and show you something that will make you believe. So once you accomplish hope, then you're in and in and in. So right there between hope and belief, that's where the edge of that vortex is. Have you ever looked at a child and used the word innocent to describe the child, and seen wonder and eagerness in the child's face, and said to yourself, I long to go back to that innocent, pure, non-resisted time? And we're here to tell you that you don't go back to it, you go forward to it. Because the contrast has caused you to put it over here in your vibrational escrow. It's over here in this vortex of creation. And you can return to it. You can return to it by caring about the way you feel. So your emotions let you know whether you're moving toward it or away from it, this vortex of creation. And today, we're going to make this analogy as strong and clear as we can, because we want you to look at your world, any aspect of it that is important to you, through the lens of being inside this vortex, which means you're tuned in to the wholeness of who you are, or outside this vortex, which means it's you in your physical form, but you're out here on the raw and ragged edge without the benefit of full connection to the whole of that which you are. You see, law of attraction swirling and attracting all cooperative components. But if you're over here complaining, you're not a cooperative component. But if you're hopeful, now you're close to cooperative, and every now and again the vortex will bring you in. When you're believing, the vortex brings you in every time. You have a thought, you believe it, in you go. When you're in the vortex, that means you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, in full realization of the fullness of all that you are. And when all that you are is pouring through you in this focused moment, it is a wonderful moment. You're vital and alive and clear. You feel good. All of your pieces of your body are moving the way you want them to. You're metabolizing, your muscles are firing, your brain is responding and transmitting to the signals. In other words, when you are tuned in, you are thriving in every sense of the word, and life is good. You feel frisky, you see. So when you're tuned in like that, whatever you look at from inside the vortex looks different than it looks when you're outside the vortex. When you're outside the vortex, you're tender and often sensitive, and the world is pricklier to you. When you're in the vortex, you feel security. When you're out of it, you feel insecure. When you're in the vortex, you have clarity. When you're out, often you're confused. When you're in the vortex, you are accessing the energy that creates worlds. We're not kidding you one bit about that, which gives you a leverage of time and productivity that you cannot even come close to achieving outside the vortex. Don't you see so many people beating their brains out, working so hard, putting in long, long hours, sacrificing, suffering, and getting so little for it? And you say, oh, this world surely isn't a fair world. And then you see others relaxed and basking and thriving. And you say, this is not just. I've been taught that you have to work hard to achieve. And we say, if you're working hard from outside the vortex, you're not achieving. And if you're working from inside the vortex, it doesn't feel like work. You're working, playing for the joy of the experience and the response of the universe, of the abundance of well-being as it showers down around you, is indescribable. People from outside the vortex will demand that it is not just, and they will say, we need to even this out. We're going to take your pie and distribute it among the others. And if you are in your vortex, you say, that's all right with me because there's a steady stream of everything that I want flowing to me. It does not matter how much is expended. You could tax me 90%. And I would still continue to thrive because abundance flows to me. It's my requests for what I want that keep it flowing to me. Tax me higher, my gross will just soar. It does not matter at all. But if you're outside the vortex and they're taxing you more than you want, you say in your shortage consciousness, but wait, I hardly have enough for myself and you're going to take it away from me and give it to someone else who doesn't deserve it. When you get into the vortex, you feel the showering of abundance in such powerful ways that you don't worry about what anybody else is doing about anything ever, because you've made your contract with Source itself. You've come into alignment with the power of the universe that defies all others. When you are in alignment with Source, you are more powerful, more influential than millions who are not. In other words, there is just no comparison to the leverage of well-being and abundance and clarity that you find when you're in the vortex. So that's our sales job about getting into the vortex. And the rest of the day, with the help of those like you who want to clarify different subjects, we're going to, as often as is as practical, show you by demonstrating with them how to get into the vortex. Because every one of you has created a vibrational reality, a vortex of creation. And the most powerful words that you will ever hear, and the most important concept that you will ever come to grasp, is this: you have created the precursor to all manifestations that you desire in this vortex of creation, in this vibrational reality. And everything that you know that has been created, including the planet that you spin on, was at one time a vibrational reality. So this vibrational reality exists, and in terms of time, the proximity is anywhere from instantaneous to not in this lifetime, depending upon how long it takes you to get into the vortex. But there is no reason for you as humans to ever need to develop a stance of patience. Patience is only necessary for those who hang chronically outside the vortex. When you're in the vortex, you don't need patience, because when you ask, it is given, and there is the path. And when you ask, it is given, and there is the path. And when you ask, it is given, and there is the path. And when you ask, it is given, and there is the path, 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 and you're saying, oh boy, is my life fun. I have a passion for life. I have a passion for life because the path is laid before me constantly. And when you can see the path, you feel passion. When you can't, it doesn't feel so good. Just get in the vortex. We could have had a very short seminar today, couldn't we? Hello, it's nice to see you. You are lovely people. You are worthy. The source within you adores you. You are pure positive energy. Get in the vortex. Have a nice day. Goodbye.